Welcome back to the Zeus podcast. I'm your host, Zeus the Prophet. This platform exists to give people their flowers while they still can smell them and to tell real stories that build their legacy. But before we begin, I want to ground this space with a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Lord, we thank you for this conversation, this platform, and this opportunity to share real stories. We pray this episode reaches millions of people who need courage, direction, creative confidence. Let this conversation inspire strength, independence, and purpose in everyone listening. Keep this platform grounded in truth, love, and service. Amen. All right, chosen ones. Today we're sitting with Yolani, a Melburnian artist representing Melbourne culture, independent vision, and creative courage. Yolani, welcome to the Zeus podcast. How are you, sis?
Thank you. I am good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm feeling blessed today and every other day. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. It's so nice to meet you and very excited for this episode.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very excited to be here as well.
I'd like to begin back to the origins. So where were you born and what part of your environment do you really feel shaped who you are today, sis?
Well, I was born in Australia. My dad is from Mauritius and my mum is from Seychelles. And I have an older brother and sister as well. So they were born in Mauritius and then they came to Australia. And then I was born and we grew up in Southeast Melbourne, pretty much around where all our culture is. All the Mauritius, I feel like mostly are based in Southeast Melbourne. So I grew up heavily with the Creole culture all around me. My
Mm.
dad is also a musician as well. So having that music being played around in a house growing up is definitely a big inspiration for me and a reason why I feel I chose the path that I ended up choosing to go on.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So when you think about your childhood, sis, what kind of kid were you and what were you naturally drawn to before music, creativity became serious for you?
Well, it was music. Honestly, it was music. It was performing. Probably if I'm going to go all the way back, it was definitely performing. I started out since I was probably about 5 years old. I was put into dancing. I did every single genre. I was doing ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, song and dance, drama, like anything I could do to be on stage. I was doing it. And again, I think that just comes down to my dad because I grew up seeing him performing every weekend. Me and my mum will go, like we were like his little groupies with all the other wives of the musicians also in there. And then I had a chance to go and sing with my dad. So I've always been exposed to the stage. So that was sort of like a comfort zone
Right.
for me. So yeah, when I was little, I've always been very creative. Danced, I sing, I drew, I acted, anything to get on stage.
Wow.
I was really, really drawn to. And I don't think I never grew out of it. I don't think.
I don't think any of us did anyway. We were still young at heart and yeah. So Yolani, growing up in Melbourne is very unique culturally and emotionally. What parts of Melbourne life do you feel built your resilience or your personal?
What part of growing up in Melbourne built mine? I feel like where I grew up was very multicultural. And I think
Mm,
that really does help shape me. I think going to different suburbs, you see there's a lot of the same cultures, but where I grew up, there was all cultures were there. So I never really felt out of place. I felt really like I belonged where I was growing up, and especially like the schools that I went to was all very, very multicultural. And I think that's very important when you come from a certain culture background. For me being Creole, and obviously, we don't have the same look as like most Australians, but I never felt out of it. I never not felt Australian in that sense. So I think
right.
that helped me with my personality. I'm very accepting of all cultures, all religions. And I don't know if that's because that's where I grew up, but I think it's just my family dynamic as well and who I guess chose to surround myself. So yeah.
Wonderful. So was creativity always inside you, or was there a moment when you realized that this is more than just a hobby? This is who I am.
Was always inside me. I think it was a knowing that I was very, very certain of since I was very, very little. And I could never imagine. I had a very vivid imagination and I visualize a lot. And that is all I see myself doing. All different. So yeah, there is singing, there is with even like with drawing, with filmmaking, photography, it kind of goes hand in hand. And I like to use all those different aspects and put it together and really show a nice story, I guess, out of it as well. It's really, really funny, really gives me joy, lights me up. And I can't picture myself doing anything else that would make me happy. I've tried all the different types of jobs. I was in corporate. I was
Oh,
studying to
really?
be a
Okay.
teacher. I did a lot of different things, but
Wow.
I've always came back to music. Essentially, it was more just having like a realization, like this is the thing that makes me happy, and I'm just going to go towards that. I'm just going towards my joy, and you can't really go wrong with that. I don't.
No, I don't think you can. Absolutely. Especially when it's your passion, it's your joy, something that you love doing.
Yeah.
So, who were the first people in your life that made you feel like your voice mattered or that had something special, that you had something special to offer?
Hmm. That is a good question. I think that is something that I've actually really struggled with a lot growing up. I don't think I've ever had someone specifically say that to me, but I've also came to the realization that I had to feel that myself in order to kind of receive that from other people, if that makes sense.
It
Like I've
does make
always,
sense because most of us
yeah,
artists, we don't have any people like backing us initially. That is until we
yes,
build a following. And that sort of
exactly.
helps us break out of our comfort zone, break out of our
Yeah,
shells in order for us to create our personalities, to create who we want to be as artists
exactly.
as well. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
sometimes I think about it, it's sort of necessary.
Yeah. And I've only realized that probably it took me a long time. That's probably just only the last year, really, that I've came to that realization. Like I've had people who supported me, like my family. I've had like singing teachers and things like that, but I think just not in the way that I feel like I needed when I was little. But at the same time, that's never stopped me. I am very stubborn and very persistent. And I kept going. And I think it was very necessary for me to go through that because I was very, even though I love to do music, I never felt like I was like the most talented person to do it. I just did it because I liked to. That was what I told myself. And so really in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm not really good at it, but I like to do it. But now I look back at all the things that I've done and I to say that I now do think in my subconscious that I am talented and I can do it. And since having that mentality, a lot of things has started to open up and I'm starting to get that, I guess sort of not that I need the validation, but I'm starting to get the validation from the outside world because I gave that to myself. But it took a very, very, very long time. But I pushed through, still doing it. So
And you're here today, and we're having a
yes,
discussion for that purpose alone. It's like that outside validation. You don't really need it. Once you validate yourself, if it comes, it comes. It's a beautiful thing. And no one can say anything different. But it's because you didn't receive it, and that you don't, and you know that you don't need it. You don't need anybody to, let me say, place a word on you. You know that you're worthy. You know
yes,
that you are gifted, you're talented, you know that you are special, you know that you have God's gifts inside you. And that is what is important. That gives you your own validation and also in turn creates that outside validation, which you don't really need, but
yeah.
it's nice to hear it
Yeah,
sometimes.
it is. It's such a powerful feeling to be able to give that to yourself as well. And
Absolutely.
honestly think that's like one of my biggest lessons in this lifetime was
Absolutely. So when
yeah.
you first stepped into creative or music spaces, what were some of the real challenges people don't see being behind the scenes?
I think the biggest challenge I had was being my own team. Don't have you're doing everything behind the scenes. You don't just do the music. You have to do the promotion. You have to be on camera. You have to be behind the camera. You have to be the person emailing and promoting and marketing and doing all the different hats, which you might not even be a strength of yours, really, but you have to learn it. A lot of things in the music industry, when I really started putting myself out there, has all been self-taught. I've just done a lot of research and trial and error, try again, trial and error. I'll
Yeah.
succeed, then I'll go back, then I'll go forward. But everything that I've done, whether it worked or didn't work, has been a good lesson of what to do better next time. So I never really see anything now as a step backwards. It's just a redirection and a refocus. But yeah, definitely the biggest challenge is just wearing all that hat and kind of being, you have to be your own biggest fan as well. And I think also the hardest thing I would find is, yes, you'll have supporters. Like you would think your family, your friends would be like your biggest supporters, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And that can be a really sad realization as well. I think you have to really be your biggest fan and really believe in yourself and not need that from people in order to keep moving forward. Otherwise, it can eat you up alive, not having that support. Like people can support
Absolutely.
you, but not believe in you. There's a big difference. They can support you because it's you, they're your friend, but would they buy your music? Would they share your posts? Like things that are like not even that much? Not always. And that can be really, I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of videos of people finding that really difficult as artists. But I've honestly, it took a long time again, but I've completely moved past. So I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's not going to change what I'm doing. I'm still going to do what I
That's right.
do. Or because I don't get a like, I'm like, it's fine. I
Yeah, no,
don't do it for that
exactly.
anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I find that, me coming up in the game, like I've been doing this hip hop shit for the last 20 years, so when I first was coming up, like none of my family honestly supported me,
Mm,
like still to this day, it's like, it's not really that big of a deal to them. It's like, if I have money, if I have doing shows, if I have merchandise, none of that shit means anything to them. You know what I mean? It's like me being successful, me finding my own lane. Yeah, maybe that means something to them, but it might not mean something to them the way it does to you, if that makes
yes.
sense.
Yes.
So that's okay. We respect it. They can love us from afar, but like we're on this road to greatness,
Mm,
and nothing is gonna stop us. And that's what I feel about you as well. It's like you're on
yeah.
this road to greatness, and I can sense that about you, and I definitely feel light worker vibes coming from you, and I'm sure my audience
Thank
will as well.
you.
Like such
Thank
great
you.
vibes from you, such a positive person. From what I can tell from a lot of your videos that I've watched, as well as like you have that sense of like calm and humbleness, but yet hungry and passionate. And yeah, I really appreciate that in you as well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That's honestly, So what does being an independent creative mean to you on a real level? Not just freedom, but responsibility and pressure as well.
I think having to try and make a full-time living and a career out of my art has been very challenging. I'm still on my way to do that, but I feel like I'm so much more further along than I was. I would say even a year ago. A lot has changed in a year. So I've recently opened up my studio. It's called the Studio Empress.
Well,
I'm
congratulations to that.
Thank you so much. I created it pretty much for other musicians. Like I wanted to combine my skill in filmmaking. So I have a bachelor degree in screen production. So I went and studied that straight after high school. So I have this degree that I haven't really used, to be honest. Like I've used it for my own stuff when it comes to music and production, like music videos and things. I really wanted to create a space where content is becoming like it's really important these days. If you're going to be an artist, you have to show up online. And I just really wanted to create a space that combines music and content together and everything can be done here. So you could do your recording, film reels, and things like that. So that's where the idea was born. And I literally had to think of ways to pivot, not really pivot like music, but look at different avenues that's in the creative field that I feel I can do that would still give me joy, that will allow me to do this as a full-time career. And I've just opened and I am being booked, getting all these bookings and I can't even barely keep up. But it's exciting and I'm
That's a
so
beautiful
grateful.
thing.
And yeah, feel like it's just a new step in my creative career. And I'm really excited that I get to do this. And yeah, this is something that I've built on my own. So it's something I'm definitely proud of. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely proud of you too, sis. I mean, it's not easy opening up your own studio, especially being a mother and
Yes.
being a creative artist as well. You know, that's
Thank
one thing
you.
that I've battled in my journey as well. Being a father myself of two kids, I know how hard it is not always being able to get to shows and doing the things that I want to do because obviously, being a parent, it's about self-sacrifice. You
Mhm.
pretty much like you put your kids first and the rest is secondary. So
Mm.
having been able to do that, that's I'm very proud of it. So it's a beautiful thing, you know?
Thank you so much. Well, a lot of the ideas also came because my studio is built in my house. They
Hmm.
are, well, they're not here at the moment. They're at my mum's house taking a birth, all right. But it allows me to still be home and work and have them here. So it was definitely built with them in mind. But you're right, it is very hard. And there's a lot of things that you aren't able to do because of that, of your responsibility. But at the same time, my motivation also comes from them as well. I think my motivation
Exactly.
is different after having them and gives me more of a purpose. Before, I don't think I even really had a why. I loved it, yes,
Right.
but the motivation to keep going, even though I'm more tired than I was before, my time is very, very limited, but they're the reason that I'm doing this now. And having that reason, I think is
Wow.
your why is really, really important. I think if you're going to do
That's
this full time.
the actual why. Yeah, it's very important. That's very profound what you just said. I think those who are watching, those who are parents, and those who are artists at the same time too can feel you on that one and
Hmm.
feel us on what we just said. Of course, that's how I set up this podcast. I'm doing it from my home. So, do you feel like the Melbourne culture lives inside your sound and identity? And if so, how would you describe your energy to someone outside of Australia?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think I've been influenced by the Melbourne music community as such, or even the Australian music community. I've never felt like I really fit in with the community, to be honest. I always found it really difficult to get gigs and anything, and really getting with that crowd. I think also because my music is not like a commercial sound in Australia as well. So I do reggae, Afrobeat type of music. So
Exactly.
really, my music is so much more popular overseas. So that's where all my success in music has come from, all from overseas. Not here at all.
Wow.
And like, it's not like I haven't tried. I really have tried. And I do feel like it can get a little bit clicky as well. Like you'll notice, especially in the reggae community, there's a lot of events around it, but it's always, from my perspective, the same people performing. So I feel like you have to really
Mm,
be in with that clique. You have to know them and stuff. So it makes sense. People
absolutely.
hire people that they know. And so I've just found it really difficult for myself to get out there in that specific community here in Melbourne. But overseas, I feel very, very supported, and it's funny. It's that, but I guess the genre that I do works well with the crowd from overseas, and I'm just so grateful for that. For people who haven't seen me live or in person, just through their screen, to have that
Mm.
amount of support is amazing. And yeah, no, I love them for that.
Absolutely, and especially being a woman too. So,
Yes.
what do you think? What do you think women in the music and creative industry are fighting for today, and that most people don't fully understand?
I think specifically in the music industry is the safety of women when it comes to the music industry. For example, when you go to recording studios, when you go to gigs, you can't, I don't know, I don't want to say that you can't go by yourself, but I wouldn't go by myself to these places. It's just, you can't really trust people these days, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And it's really hard to know the right people to work with, especially when like this kind of industry is very male dominant. And so that could be very difficult. And also when you're trying to negotiate things like your prices and you go to events and you're backstage and things like that, like it's always, I don't know if a male artist will also think the same thing, but it's always at the back of my mind, who am I going to bring with me that's like a safety person?
Safety
I'm going to
person,
have,
right?
yeah. And like that's just a standard thought. Like it's not even, I don't think that's the thought that will go through a male artist. They'll just rock up and be like, okay, let's do this little
Right.
thing. I'm sure they'll have the entourage, but it wouldn't be from a safety
No, it's not the same.
perspective. No. And especially if a lot of you are in the city and things, like I just, yeah, I get very nervous when it's something that somewhere that it is very far. And obviously being a solo artist, it's not like I'm with a band. I'm just by myself. So those things and those thoughts are always in the back of my mind when I do things. I think that is why I kind of gone down the route more of recording things by myself. So I've just taught myself how to record my vocals. So I don't have to go to a recording studio. I'm able to film myself. I can do music videos from here, I can record my songs. I get everything made online. My producers from overseas, so I don't have to be in the same room. Just little things like that that I learned workarounds that I've probably never actually thought about it, but it is really a safety thing. But that's one of the reasons. Yeah. And I think that's a challenge for most female artists. Yeah.
I think that this topic is not addressed as often as it should.
Mm.
There's a lot of female artists out there that don't feel safe when going to shows, when going to studios, and things like this. I suppose this is why you set it up at home, so you can have that safety, that security, that comfortability, as well. So that's a good thing that you brought it up. I mean,
Yeah.
the audience, or my audience, will understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly, because a lot of them are women, strong women, by the way, but they still feel scared sometimes to go out by themselves. So, you know, I gotta give you props for that.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give to younger women in Melbourne who are talented, but maybe scared to fully step forward?
You really do need to believe in yourself first before putting yourself out there. You need to be your number one fan. You need to not care about what people think. You may do something and it might not be right, but that's okay. It's okay. You're going to get judged. You're going to get judged by people, but that's what happens when you put yourself out there, and you need to be okay with that. I think if you're sure in yourself, nothing like that would shake you, and never give up. And definitely learn how to do things yourself as well. Like it's so cool to be able to just record your own vocals, be able to make a whole song in a little room in your house and then have it become like a hit sort of thing. So yeah, I think definitely learning. You never stop learning. So do your research, practice, just do things from joy and believe in yourself.
That's very profound. That's very beautiful. That's poetry, actually.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
since becoming a mother, Yolani, has your definition of success or purpose changed in any way?
Yes, I would say. As I mentioned before, my why has definitely changed.
Yeah, but can you expand
So
on that a little bit more?
yeah, yeah, 100%. So when when I had my son, I pretty much almost gave up in music. I think especially having your first child is a big, 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 big change in your life. Your identity change, your reasons of doing things change, your responsibilities change. So when he was a baby, I just remember I was just sitting, I was really, really lost of where I wanted to go with my music. I just thought in my head, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I don't have time. I'm tired, this and that." And I just sat with him and I remember him being on the play mat and I was just sitting at home with him by myself and I just started singing. I just started singing. I started writing a song that just came so naturally. And when I was doing that and I finally kind of relaxed a little bit and was just singing from a place of joy, his face just lit up and started laughing and smiling and he really liked it. And that it seems really small, but that feeling that was like a light bulb that switched in me at that moment. And I just wanted to make music for him, to be honest. And just to make him smile, to make him happy, like that honestly was the biggest like feels for me and
Wow.
really changed the direction of how I show up in music. Before it was all for myself, I guess. I just wanted to be on stage. I was kind of like just taking any opportunity that came to me, whether it fit me or didn't fit me. I'm like, yes, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that, changing my style, changing the type of songs just to get that opportunity. I was kind of like hungry and desperate just for that chance for someone to discover me or something. But then after having my son, I was like, no, like I want to make music that makes him happy, that make other people happy, that is positive and uplifting. Like I don't want to bring anyone down with my music. And that's where I kind of started changing the types of songs that I did. My songwriting actually got so much better because I
Right.
had lived experience to write from. I'm writing from something that's like really, really down in my core. Before, I don't think I really had much substance. It was just like, like whatever songs. But then it started to become more meaningful. And that's definitely come from becoming a mother. And yeah, and I feel like that's where my songs actually, I started moving more forward in the music industry from these songs. So if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be where I am, to be honest. And then I
God
had my
bless you.
twin girls, and then again, like
Yeah.
another two on
And
top.
then everything got crazier.
Oh yes, yes, they are completely different to my son. So it's different, but a good. It's a good different. I definitely feel like now I was meant to have twins. Before when I first found out, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But they're here now, and it's definitely meant to be. Yeah, they're my everything.
How did you first get connected with Zarina, and what was your first impression of her creative energy?
Many years ago, I remember, if my memory is correct, it was at a singing competition in St. Kilda, I want to say. It was at a bar, I think, and it was just one of those open mics competition um things, like event that I was doing a lot of competitions at the time. And she was one of the singers that were there. And she had her group of friends that were there. I had my little group of friends as well. My husband was there. And I think she had a friend that knew my husband, like they went to school together or something. There was some sort of connection there. And so then we kind of all just kind of came together and then we just became friends from that pretty much. I remember seeing her on stage. She was just a light and such a joy to watch. So effortless when she's performing with her vocals. And I think one of the things that we really had in common was the type of songs that we sang, and even like when I started songwriting as well. Our themes in all our music is always very, very similar. So we have that in common, but at the same time, we're also so very different as well. I think, yeah, it's definitely like our values and our songwriting themes that we have in common. And that's what brought us together pretty much from that singing competition. Then we just kind of kept in contact since then. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing to watch her grow.
When you met Zarina, so she invited you to be part of the Kaleidoscope project. What did that moment mean to you personally?
It was at the moment, at the start, I didn't really know how big she wanted to take it. I just thought it would just be like another project to work on, and I'm always keen, whatever she throws my way, to just give it a go and try my best on the track. But then when she started to explain there's going to be different versions of the song, we're going to come together, we're going to perform all together, having an opportunity to sing live together. We've never done that before. And also singing in a group, I've never done before, like as an artist. And so I was like, this is going to be interesting. Always up for a challenge. Um, but it's
Absolutely.
also going to be nice to share the stage with other artists as well. I'm always up there by myself, so it's different. Um, and just also the meaning about the song. So I heard the song once or twice before she gave it to me, but then when I had to write my own verse, I had to really, really sit with it. And I just became obsessed with the song. It is so, so good. It was just stuck in my head all day, and I was just singing, singing, singing.
Which one?
And
The butterfly?
butterfly.
Right.
I think, and
It's a
just
great song.
really hearing, and even her vocals on the track is so amazing. The harmonies that she does and the notes that she does in the song is just very, I honestly think it's one of her best songs that she's written to date that I personally like. And so I'm very excited and grateful that that is the song that I get to collaborate on it with. So I'm very, very
Absolutely.
excited. I think for the event as well, I think it's going to be amazing to share the stage with all of them.
So when you do step on stage on March 8th, do you feel like you're performing just as an artist or also representing something bigger for women in music?
I will definitely be stepping up from my set as an artist. I think each of us is going to have a chance to do that, to show what we are all about. But when we come together, I think it's going to be a really good representation of all of us standing united together, and a good representation of how different we all are and coming together and how powerful that can be. I think collaborations is very, very important in music and in any industry. I think it's hard when you're by yourself, but when you're working with a team of people, it's really nice. It's really nice to bounce your ideas, and especially in the creative field, you get to just amplify that feeling and that joy. And I think it would really show when we're performing together. Like we had a rehearsal today, and it was so fun. Like it wasn't stressful. It didn't feel like we were competing or anything like that. We were just coming together and singing, and all of us doing what we love to do. And I hope the
That's
audience will be able to feel that as well.
that's how you know it's going to be magical. So, what
Yes.
message do you hope women in the audience take away from watching you perform that day?
That we are all in this together. We are stronger when we're together. I guess just never be afraid to reach out and ask for help. I think there's a stigma about having to try and do everything yourself and cope, and especially, being a mum as well, like that, you always take on everything by yourself. But really, there are a community of people that can help as well. You just need to ask. And I think standing up there with all the other artists hopefully will be a good representation of that, as we are all individual artists on our own, but coming together, you can create something beautiful. And I think you can really take that in any aspect of your life as well.
That's pretty profound. That's magical, actually. So, how did you prepare for differently for this show compared to a normal live performance?
Um, well, today was actually the first time I've done the rehearsal for this. I'm still working out exactly what songs I'm going to be doing for the set, but definitely putting um the backing tracks together and the instrumentals, I should say. So I have half an hour pretty much to do my set. The songs itself, just rehearsing by myself in the studio with my microphone. That's how I would prepare. I like to visualize as well, pretend I'm literally on stage and how I would move, and what I would say in between all the songs. For me, I
Power of
get very.
manifestation.
Yes, I do that a lot without. I've been doing it for a very long time. Before I even knew it was a thing, I would always visualize. And so I think that's what I like to do when it comes to preparing for a gig as well. I just imagine I'm there, and yeah, and then really feel it when I'm singing. So yeah, I do need to practice a
Absolutely.
little bit more before the day. I haven't got my set together yet, but I will soon. But I do have everything. Like I got like my outfit ready and
That's
all
it.
of that.
Practice
So
makes progress, you know? So, well, what has working with Serena taught you about collaboration and creative leadership?
So working with Serena, I think her personality and my personality really does mesh well together. Our ideas are always very similar. So when I make a suggestion, she's like, yeah, she's already onto it, sort of thing. She's helped me also be able to voice my opinions without feeling judged or like it could be wrong. For me, I'm very specific when it comes to my music, and if I'm going to put my voice on something. In the past, someone would do a mix for me. I might not really like it or might not, sound right to me, but I'll be too scared to kind of say anything because I don't want to offend them. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, sounds good. And then like get released, I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound good. But with Serena, I'm able to voice that, especially with this song as well. So we've done like a lot of changes and things that come from my suggestions, her suggestions, and I'm just so happy that I'm able to do that now. And I feel like she's given me the confidence to do that with other projects now too. So, and it does really make it
Beautiful.
better. You feel more proud when the song comes out when you actually know that's the best that it could be. So she's definitely given me
Absolutely.
that confidence to speak up when it comes to, tweaks with the songs and things like that.
It's beautiful. So do you feel like this collaboration has pushed you into a new creative space or strengthened what you have or what you already do naturally?
I think it's strengthened what I have. I feel like I'm stepping into this event with more confidence than I've ever had before in myself as an artist. And I feel like that's going to hit very differently. I used to get like very nervous going into gigs, and I used to practice every little thing, every little head move. I'm going to do this and that. And there are some things that like you can't even control. Like someone will stuff up your music, and I'm like, oh no, everything's going wrong. And then It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like now I'm more in the flow of things and I'm more relaxed and I'm confident in what I'm able to do. And I feel like it's hitting differently. So I'm very excited to go into this event. I feel like a new version of myself is going to be stepping on that stage.
No,
So
it's
I'm really
2026, so
excited.
it's a new year. You know what I mean? You're a new person, and
Yes,
you have new goals this year. I suppose you want to achieve.
yes, yes,
So
lots of
what?
goals.
So for all those who don't know, who are watching this right now and don't know where to get the tickets from, do you want to give that a little bump?
Yes, so the ticket link is in my bio. It's also in on Instagram and it's on Zarina's page on her bio as well. So if you just follow that link, it will say Kaleidoscope event. You just click on that and you can purchase the tickets there.
And I'm definitely hoping to rock up myself, and then if
Yes,
I
that'll be nice to meet you in person.
and likewise, of course, and seeing you guys perform. And as you
Mm.
know, or you might not know, but I've interviewed Tal already. I've had her on the podcast, and she is such an amazing person. She's such a treat to talk to.
She's so
But I
beautiful. She was
definitely,
just here just before we had a rehearsal. Yeah, no, she's a beautiful person.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm very proud of her too. I'm looking forward to meeting the other ladies as well, who
Yes.
you're going to be performing with, and Zarina and the rest. Hopefully, God willing. And it's going to be an amazing night and a magical moment for, like International Women's Day and
Mhm.
creative women collaborating together, being on stage. So for all you wonderful people, chosen ones who want to see a creative force, I definitely recommend Kaleidoscope, 8th of March. Definitely drop the links in this video. Yeah, but sis, what do you think makes makes female artist collaborations feel different energetically compared to mixed lineups?
There's it just ties in with that safety net. You don't feel afraid to be yourself or I guess wear certain things, do certain things when you're with a group of women. It's just I feel like you're more free to be yourself. You're not having to hold back whether I don't know for myself I would probably be a little bit uncomfortable to really say what's on my mind or to give suggestions for when there's other male artists in the room because they but with women I think we all understand each other and we're all here for the same reasons. There's no other agendas behind it. You don't have to second guess it. And I think that just helps you kind of relax and really get into your creative flow without that worry at the back of your mind. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, when you rehearse for something like Kaleidoscope, do you focus more on emotion, technical performance, or storytelling? How does that work?
Well, today was the first time we've actually done it. That's actually really
Yeah, well,
interesting how we
after
actually went
today's,
about it. Let me have a think. Well, first it was technical. We had to make sure our mics were working and all the levels were correct, but that didn't take very long to do. I think it was more about being able to sing with each other right next to, like being right next to each other and singing when you're singing your bits and there's someone else singing a different melody and they're doing harmonies and different things all around you, it can get a little bit confusing as well. So just getting used to all these different sounds coming in, singing all at the same time, it's very different than singing by yourself. That's for sure. But I think we did it a few times and the more we did, the more comfortable. I think we just had to get used to each other a little bit. And the more we did it, the more fun it became more flowing. If we stuffed up, we stuffed up. It's okay. We just kept going. Like no one was getting angry with anyone. It was just a really nice vibe. Yeah, it
absolutely,
was a good energy. I think it's important if you're going to be on stage with people, you have to have the same level of energy. Um, when you come together. Otherwise, we can feel it. I think, and we just yeah, we all have the same vibe, the same energy, and that's thank God, because if we did a match, then that would be a little bit of a problem. But no, everyone was very lovely, and we just had a great time practicing the songs, and it came really easy. Yeah, it took me by surprise, but it did come really really easy, which was nice and comforting
absolutely,
to know. So when we perform, it's going to be even better.
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
So, do you think intimate venue performances like this feel more personal or more intense for you as an artist?
I feel like the intimate events can be a little bit more scary because you tend to be more vulnerable um when you're performing. Whereas when it's a big, I think for myself, I do better when it's a bigger stage because I like the whole performance and theatrics. Do your dancing. It's like, it's a good
Absolutely.
time. But like when you do something a bit more intimate, it's a little bit more stripped back and it can be a little bit more vulnerable. You can actually see the people watching you, and so that can be a little bit like intimidating. But I think it used to be intimidating, but now I'm just excited to give it a go in this different mindset. And I think it's going to be really, really nice. I think, as I mentioned before, like I have this newfound confidence in myself as an artist. So I'm going to be stepping into this role onto that stage a little bit different. And yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes and just yeah, be a little bit more exposed as an artist, I guess, and vocally as well, rather than having all like the show, and stripping it back. So yeah, I know I'm really excited.
Right. This venues in St Kilda, right? So
Yes.
how important is community support in spaces like St Kilda where art, music and culture all mixed together?
I think it's very important because we all need each other, right? So it's not just music, it can be the film, the camera, the photography, the artwork, the producer, the DJ. Like we all need to work together for something like this to become successful as well. And again, we're not competing against each other or anything like that. We're all fighting, I guess, for the same thing. We all want to do what gives us joy. We all want to be creative. We all want to do this for a living. And when you're in a room full of these people, you make relationships with them, you collaborate. Like those are what gives you other opportunities. That's what drives like different inspirations. And then there's different projects you're working on, and you're like, I know this. I met this person at this event, and things like that's where things start to roll, like when it comes to opportunities that you can get in the creative industry, and that can only come when you do collaborations with people. So it is very important to get out there and make those collaborations with those people, and we all need each other. You can't be an expert in everything. You can try, but it can be very lonely, and it's good to have a community of people that if you need help with something that you can ask for that help, and you can help back.
So do you feel like Melbourne audiences listen differently compared to other places?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you feel like Melbourne audiences they listen differently compared to other places?
They listen had
As in listen, like some audiences they listen with intent. Some audiences just show up just because they got nothing else better to do. In Melbourne, we have like a specific creative genre where people like purposely, plan their night. They get dressed, they go out, they
mm,
know where they're going, what they want to see, what they want to hear. Do you think compared to other places? Do you think it's a little bit different for anyone listening outside of Melbourne?
yeah, I think with the community that I've seen and have been involved with, people in Melbourne, I feel want to feel something when they go somewhere. And especially at the location where we're performing. So I went there recently for a workshop, a music and mindset workshop, and all these other creatives were there in that one room. And that was something I actually haven't experienced before. I don't think I really went out to actually see what the creative industry are all about when it comes to that specifically. And it really did open my eyes. Like, it's so amazing how many people can be so creative, and when you come together, how beautiful that is as well. And yeah, that was a really eye opener. And I think it definitely comes in different suburbs. I think different suburbs can be a little bit more artsy than like other places as well. But I definitely felt really supported in that room. And yeah, I think that can be tied into the Melbourne creative space.
That's pretty profound. Yeah, it's exactly spot on.
Mm.
So if someone discovers your music for the first time at this show, what
Mhm.
part of you do you want or do you hope they can connect with first?
With my music, I'm very intentional. With my music, I want people to feel uplifted and happy and positive. I want them to leave feeling light and just happy. That's what I want people to feel. when they hear my music. I
Well,
definitely
personally,
write, yeah.
that's how I feel when I hear your music. When I see your videos, that's the energy. Remember when I first told you that's the energy that you give out to the world is that it's positive. It's a light worker energy. Your aura is great, sis. So I think that first and foremost jumped out for me for sure.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I try to be very intentional. I do a lot of research, even in frequencies of how to make music with high frequencies, because you can get very
Wow,
caught out. You can make a happy
absolutely.
song, but if the beat is low frequency, you don't realize how that it's like getting sucked into your subconscious, and you don't know why you're feeling low, even though I'm singing a happy song. So I'm very
Oh,
conscious
right.
about that when it comes to my music. Yeah, so that's with my music at the moment. I am going in a little bit different direction. I am pivoting a little bit with my music brand and everything like that, but I haven't revealed that yet. But yeah, it's definitely evolving. I can say that.
Do you see this event as a milestone moment in your journey or part of a bigger build?
I think it will
Both.
be the, I think it will be kind of like a tribute to all my past music that I've had, especially with this new direction that I'm going in. It definitely has the influences, but it's going to be very, very different. So I think this is kind of going to be like the last time that I'm singing the songs in this way. So it's going to be like a nice little tribute to like my past self as an artist, but also a little bit of a stepping stone into the new version in regards of like, I guess, my image on stage. So it's like kind of a little bit of both of those worlds meshed together. And then I'm going to step out into the new.
Just like a butterfly, right?
Yes, exactly. It all ties in perfectly.
Well, after the show, what kind of opportunities or creative doors are you hoping open next?
Well, with my studio, I'm going to be opening my doors to other music artists who want to come and create. I definitely want to create a space where it is a safe environment for everyone and it's okay to make mistakes. And it's just a place where you can be free and creative and we can make something really, really cool to your vision. So I really want to grow that and also use it to help me elevate my own music as well. One of my main goals with my music this year is to get into music sync licensing. So music being more tailored for the cinema sort of vibe is where I'm heading. So really,
As
really
in for
concentrating on
movie
that.
scores, is it
Yeah,
for movie scores and TV, film production, things like this?
exactly. And I feel like it's all very fitting because I do have a film background. This is like a film space, and it makes sense for me to move in that direction. I've been doing a lot of research in the last couple of years, and now I feel like it's the right time to really bring it to life. So I am very, very excited for what's to come. I think it's just the start, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So having said that, if you could speak to your younger self from before music, what would you say to her as being part of a moment like this?
I would say that you are talented. You don't need someone to tell you that you know that within you. To definitely keep going is going to be worth it. Don't let anyone bring you down. And you have a gift and you need to use it, and it is your purpose in life. So keep going.
And you don't need anyone to validate who you are.
No,
Just
you
remember
don't.
that. So how do you protect your mental and emotional space while still creating, performing, and showing up in real life responsibilities? How do you protect your mental health for those listening?
In the music industry, that's a very interesting question. Let me have to think. Just
Take your time.
in general, not just music, but just in general, I know when I need to take a time out and have a break. I think you can't be creative 24/7. I think that would just lead to burnout, and it is okay to have creative blocks. I've had blocks sometimes months at a time, years at a time, especially when my little kids were like babies and that's all you're consumed
Absolutely.
by. But that doesn't mean you're not a creative, you're not an artist anymore because those ideas are just not flowing to you as quickly as they used to. But definitely knowing when to take breaks. And I had to really force myself to do this, but knowing when to take breaks is very, very important. And for me, like I feel like I've always been mentally very strong. Um, when it came to protecting my mental health. Like I'm very sure of myself I think just having that, being able to visualize so vividly, like it's already exists in an alternate universe, that I'm so sure that no
Right.
one can put any doubts in my mind because I've seen it, I've already lived it. I'm like, yes, it's totally happens. No one can convince
That's
me
how
otherwise.
manifestation happens.
Yeah. And I think it's just that you're a little bit delusional. Some people will think, a little bit in la la land, but like that's okay. Like they can think that. I'm happy in my la la land and I'm making things happen. Like I think
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
pretty amazing. And I think I'm just
Well,
I feel like I'm very, very strong to be able, to just kind of block all of that out and just know when it's okay to take breaks.
Well, it's very interesting that you mentioned frequency before as well, especially in music. And
Yes.
that's very, very important, especially 432 hertz, 528 hertz as well.
Mm,
For those who don't know, is the frequency of the universe, and that's how manifestation happens. Once you start, vibrating on a certain frequencies, that you open up your internals or your whole way of being, as in what Yolani is just saying, is like she's already lived it, she's experienced it in her mind. Okay, and that's how manifestation happens. You already attain it right now. So in your mind, you're already successful, and that's how success happens.
yes.
For those who don't know, it's once you start, because your words, your thoughts and your actions have a vibrational frequency that resonate with the universe. So once you start resonating on that level, you open up everything for the universe to send you everything that you already want, because you know that you already have it.
Yes.
And so that's how manifestation happens. And that's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate you
Thank you.
including that in your music.
Yeah.
That's a very big thing for me. So when I make music, I try to unlock the 432 hertz frequency as well. So do you feel like creativity or music is spiritual in a way? Like something
Yes.
flows through you rather than just from you?
Absolutely. I only make songs with certain beats that makes me really, really feel something. I will go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs and it's just that one beat that really sparks something in me. And I think that is very, very spiritual. And I try to do that with my melodies and my lyrics as well. It's all very, very intentional. And I think, yeah, just even when I'm recording, like you feel a certain way when you're singing. I think that really transcends into the songs that I make as well. So yeah, it's definitely a spiritual thing, I believe. There is a song that I actually wrote that I haven't released yet, and I was thinking of performing it at the Kaleidoscope event. It's called Manifest. And I wrote this song when my girls were little babies. I think they weren't even 1 yet. I couldn't record anything. I could just write when they're just like running around. And I really wanted to create a song that for time limited people like myself, if you wanted to try and manifest, or I want to create a song that you can just play so you can just sit in your subconscious. And I really think that the highest form of like manifestation you have is gratefulness. And so I really wanted to create a song that that talks about being grateful for all the things that you have, just having a roof over your head, having shoes, being able to stand, being able to dance, being able to sing.
Exactly.
And so I had that song there that I haven't released yet. I was thinking, oh, maybe I should sing that at the
You
event.
definitely should. I
Yeah,
definitely encourage you to. It's the attitude of gratitude. I love it.
yeah, absolutely. And so that's where all my songs are like coming from. Yeah, theme wise.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm always operating on the attitude of gratitude mentality, especially when I look into my kids' eyes and I realize how precious they are and how precious life is and how much opportunities I've been given, how many opportunities I've wasted in my life.
Mm.
And really, for me, as a mature adult as well, I would say that, I don't waste any opportunities anymore.
Mhm.
And plus, I'm very picky and choosy, just like yourself with your
Yes.
music and your beats. And you said you might go through hundreds of beats and just listen for the right one that might hit you the certain way. And that's
Mhm.
how I am with different people and opportunities that I align with. It has to be divine alignment. It has to sit right with
Yes.
me. It's not about that for me. It's not about rushing, rushing, rushing and putting out hundreds
Yeah.
of pieces of music and just getting out there. I'm more about quality than quantity.
Yes. Yes.
So now This brings me to the next section of the Zeus podcast, which is called the fun section. Now, if you had a perfect day, sis, in Melbourne with zero responsibilities, where would you go first and what would you eat?
Where would I go and what would I eat? This is probably every mum's dream to go somewhere, but am I by myself?
It's a perfect day. You could be by yourself. If whatever you imagine, whatever you visualize, since we are big on manifestation, you visualize whatever you want.
Well, does it have to be one place? This can be anything. My mind's blown. Okay, well, I would want to go for a full day massage or a full pamper package where I'm
Yes,
completely by myself. I really wanted to go
absolutely.
to the hot springs. I have not been to the hot springs in a very, very long time. I would love to go and just sit in the hot springs for a very long time. The beach. I think that is a very, very peaceful place to be. I think I really like being near the water. I think there is something very pure, something I honestly feel like water is sort of like a portal. It's like a great place for manifestation and just for calmness.
Well, I
The
believe so
beach.
too. Since our bodies are made up of 70% water,
Yes,
of course,
exactly. So yeah, I'll definitely end the day at the beach. And what would I eat? I'm a very simple person. Like I don't mind a good burger and a chips, to be honest, or maybe a good pasta. On the beach, probably like a burger or something. I'm not.
Right.
I'm very, very
So
picky, so I can't do anything too complicated. I'll be happy with a cheeseburger from McDonald's, to be honest. I don't ask for very much, but yes, just being by myself and being with my thoughts is like peaceful, relaxing. Yeah.
God bless you. I know being a mother that can't be easy at all. Especially in my situation, being a father, I really get those days when, if
Mm.
they do come eventually, it's a beautiful thing. Are you an early morning Melbourne cafe energy or late night city lights energy?
Definitely these days, early mornings, I would wake up to go for breakfast somewhere. At times I can't do. I like to be in bed by like 8:30, in bed, watching a movie with my husband,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
relaxing that way. I like it's
absolutely.
very hard like to I need that full night's sleep to be able to function. These days, definitely morning. I think once if you can get up early and do something, you have like the whole day left. Like if you wake up late and then you'll be tired, nah, nah. Get it done in the morning.
Beautiful. So, if you weren't doing music or creative work at all in another life, hypothetically,
Mm.
what do you think you would be doing?
Does it have to be not creative, or can it just be like anything that's not music?
This is the fun section. It could be anything. Since we're big on
Could be
imagination,
anything. Yes, I've already thought about this plenty of time. I think I would go into acting, to be honest. I
nice,
love, at
nice.
least
I
it's
like
just still
that.
something creative. Yeah, I would definitely go into acting. That would make sense for me. But if it wasn't anything creative, I was working in data analytics in my previous, I was working for the Australian government in data analytics, and I
Wow.
actually really enjoyed it, like strangely. Oh, this is like a new thing for me. I really enjoy spreadsheets, which is really strange. I think it's just
Absolutely.
because I'm a very organized person, so I think that just makes sense for that part of it. But I quickly got over that and came back to the creative side. I was like, yeah, that was good for a short
So,
amount of time. But
acting, huh? So that's
yeah,
very interesting. I've done a bit of acting work in my time as well. I was
oh, have
involved
you?
in two independent movies. I've done some work for City Homicide on Channel 7 back in the
I have
day.
fun.
Yeah, and I even, I was a paid actor in do you remember that series called Prison Break?
Yes,
Well,
you were
there's a
in that.
company. No, no, I wasn't in that series, but there was a company called Sudden Impact, and they turned Prison Break into a live attraction.
Mm.
So I had to go up to Adelaide and audition, came back to Melbourne. 2 weeks later, I got the call, you got the part. They flew me up there, all
Oh my,
expenses paid for. So we won the Royal Adelaide show that year. So they turned that into an actual live attraction where I had to I played the part as an inmate. So I
yeah.
created my own character based upon real life version. So that's the world.
How
That's
is that a
something that
job?
I did. I did my own makeup and I created a scar across my face. I shaved my head. I looked scary as but
Oh my
it paid
God,
off and it worked well. We won the Royal Adelaide show that year. So you
that's
spoke about acting.
amazing.
You've done some acting work previously. Can you talk
Well,
about that, or would you like to do some? Can you talk to me about that? So anyone who's watching, because there's quite a few influential people that like to tune into the Zeus podcast. So anyone
yeah.
watching, do you want to speak that into existence and manifest that?
Wow. So when I was in film school, a lot of the films that we made, we kind of had to act in our own short film. So I got into acting kind of that way. But I always liked being in front of camera, so that wasn't a problem for me. But I think it also came down to I have a love for soap operas. Born the Beautiful being one of my favorites. My original favorites. Do you remember the soap opera called Passion? It was like a very over dramatic. It was like bad acting, but you can't not look at it type of show. But I was obsessed. I was obsessed. So I think just the drama and all that, it's like it's so fun just to play a character. So being in a soap opera, I think, especially Bob the Beautiful, oh my God, if there's anyone watching that's on the show, I would love to be Ridge's long lost daughter that he had. I already created a character for myself. Yes, being in a soap opera, doing something dramatic and completely out of character for me, I think would be so fun to do. So yes, did that. Yeah. Just sitting with my kids and playing with them or watching them play gives me so much joy. Just them playing nicely with each other when they're not fighting or anything like that. Or just when they come up to me and they say, just even to say they love me, like it just fills me up with so much joy and like everything, time just kind of stands still when we're like that. They really teach me to be present in the moment. I feel like every second that I'm always trying to do work because my time is very limited. So I'm always on my phone doing things. But then they do something and it kind of brings me back to the present moment with them. Because I don't know when I'm going to get that moment again with them. You know, they grow up so fast. And when they do, they always just pulls me back. They always pull me back. And it's just, yeah, I love being in that moment with them.